All right, well, it's around that time right here on KAZ Radio, where we have one of the most hottest shows every single Thursday at 8 o'clock. None other than We've Got Issues with Don and Mike. Take it away, fellas.
Hey, everybody, welcome to We've Got Issues. It is Thursday, August 16th, 2018.
Good evening, good evening, good evening.
My co-host Mike, my other co-host
Good
Duran.
evening.
Hello, Cleveland. And, today, everybody, it's been a great day, but today was a day where we lost a true titan in the music industry, literally the queen of soul. So before we're going to pray first, and we're going to say a little prayer. Heavenly Father, thank you for Aretha Franklin. Thank you for her divine spirit. Thank you for her musical virtuoso. She was just all of that. The standard by which all of that is really measured. The first woman to get into the Hall of Fame. Bless and keep her, and thank you for letting her grace us with her presence. Heavenly Father, we ask that you complete the work that you've begun in each of us. Let us see as you see and do as you say. Amen.
Amen.
Yeah, so getting right back to Aretha Franklin, tell me about your thoughts on her.
It's a sad day in the music industry. Aretha is the, and always will be, the queen of soul.
No doubt.
I just remember over the years growing up in the 70s and hearing her voice, and she had that unique sound.
Oh yeah.
It's just a sad day in music.
It is.
We lost an amazing woman, an amazing artist.
Yes. And you can see her right now on the show. Pictures of her coming through on our streaming through, thanks to our great producer there.
Talent beyond measures.
Talent beyond measure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, really the soundtrack. Duran, what do you think?
Well, I was introduced to Aretha by just being younger. My older brothers and everyone. That was back in the Motown days. She came a little before the other, like the Marvelettes and
Yeah, she
the
was there.
Supremes.
She was a pioneer.
And she just always had that voice that came from the heart.
Yes, she did.
It was only a few voices like that.
Right.
And when she brought it out, I still say Bridge Over Troubled Water.
Yeah.
It brings tears to my eyes, and
to this day.
this day.
Yeah.
And just by my elders, my uncle, we traveled to Cincinnati. He would see his sister. You would have to play Aretha Franklin in the car because he wouldn't listen to anything else.
Right.
And I still bless his heart to this day.
Oh, that's excellent.
Uncle Wilbur, but
That's
he
excellent.
said, no, we got to put this in now.
Did you say Wilbur?
Yeah.
That's not a brother name you hear anymore. You don't hear that Wilbur no more. You know what I'm saying?
Whatever.
God bless you, Wilbur. I tell you, just thinking about, we had a Dan in the house where I grew up on 123rd, down the street from you growing up, right?
Exactly.
And the Dan, man, Al Green, Aretha Franklin, man, when that respect, dude, respect, RESPECT.
Yeah, that's what used to get those parties in that damn
Yes.
day.
I mean, and it was funny that song Respect was also, it came out at a time where there was a lot of political turmoil, civil rights and everything, and so it meant more than on that level. That phrase meant more than just the song itself.
Yeah, and what's amazing that you talk about Bridge Over Troubled Waters, RESPECT. A lot of her songs actually are still apropos today.
Absolutely.
I mean, we're going through some troubled times.
Yes.
Right now.
Say a little prayer for us, America.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes. America is really in turmoil.
They are.
We have to. At some point, I think America is going to have to address the big elephant in the room.
Yeah.
Racism.
Yes.
I mean, it's a huge issue. No one wants to really get in depth and talk about.
Yeah.
What the problem is.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I agree with you 100%. I was thinking of another Aretha Franklin song. I was watching the Kennedy Center honors, and they were honoring Carole King, and she wrote that song "Natural Woman." And I'm going to tell you, man, if you haven't, go see her, the Kennedy Center honors, and Aretha Franklin, she did that in Amazing Grace with a 5-minute stand ovation. And I call it bringing the house down. There's certain artists they're artists. You go say, but they don't bring the house down like an Aretha Franklin.
No,
you know what I mean?
no,
She brought the house down. Obama was crying. You know what I mean? It's really we really lost a
But
national
she had
treasure.
that voice too.
Oh, she had that voice. Yeah.
I mean, if you just listen to her and the words that she was singing, It would bring tears to your eyes.
And then then she would go further. She's like, think. You better think what you're trying to do to me. I mean, a lot
Think
of
about it.
right, you know, you make me feel like a natural woman. Don't you? You know, so Chain of Fools, Until You Come Back to Me. It's just a litany of excellent hits were really the soundtrack of our lives, but more so our parents' lives.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I thought was a really beautiful thing about her. So
yeah,
Aretha
growing
Franklin,
up, you know, my dad was he definitely listened to Aretha. Gladys was probably his favorite. But those were divas, you know.
they were divas.
Those are the you know, you had
Dionne Warwick in there.
Dionne Warwick, Gladys, Aretha,
Patty. That's it. That's
those,
it.
You named two.
Yeah.
As far as somebody holding their voice,
Right.
holding a note. I mean, from the heart and bringing out Patti LaBelle
Patti
and
LaBelle.
Aretha Franklin.
No doubt.
You can't think of nobody
Mentioning
else.
Patti LaBelle, we were at a cool jazz festival. That's what they used to call it back in the day. But it was in Cincinnati, and the lights went out at Riverfront Stadium. The electricity went out, and Jeffrey Osborne had just opened, and then Patti LaBelle was the headliner. Okay, it's raining profusely in the stadium at Riverfront, and it rained for like 15, 20 minutes. After a while, Patti LaBelle came out there and sang that "If Only You Knew," and you could hear her like I'm saying it right now in a stadium with 54,000 people.
Yeah.
I mean, you're right about
I
holding that note.
I saw her at King's Dominion amusement park.
Wow.
And it was hot that day. It was summertime, and she came out in a white suede outfit, you know, skirt and a top. And she's so down to earth. She was like, "Does anyone got something cooler that I can put on?" People started throwing shirts up there. She goes backstage, takes the top off, puts a T-shirt on, ties it up on the side, kicks off her pumps,
Right.
And guys throwing big 13 size tennis shoes up on stage.
Yeah.
And it was just like she was interacting with the crowd.
Yeah.
And you know, Patty and Aretha, Gladys, when she was with the Pips and Alone, you know, they did the same thing.
They did the same thing.
Really knew how to perform.
Exactly. And you know, Aretha had, one of my favorite quotes from Aretha Franklin, she said, "God is 100% love all the time." You know, and most of the woman we just mentioned really came from the church into the music industry. You know what I mean? And but Aretha, you can't
And a
say
lot of
nothing
them
about
did,
it.
I think.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
they grew up in the church.
Absolutely. I remember my cousin was started to get into Mary Kay because, you know, Mary Kay always had a pink Cadillac, and Aretha Franklin had that song "Freeway of Love" and the pink Cadillac. She was like, yeah, she made a lot of money off that Mary Kay. I was still selling Amway at the time, Cleveland, which is not a good idea. Hey, you got to keep it real. You got to keep it real. That issue.
They're still around.
Yeah, they're still around. They're still around. But you know, it's funny, Mike. I was telling you, we were talking about this offline when we came, when we did this show on WERE a few years ago. When we were on, We've Got Issues on that particular station, 1490 AM. It was June 25th, and right before we went on the air, Michael Jackson had passed
That's
away.
right.
And we took the whole show and turned it into a Michael Jackson tribute.
Right.
And I feel the same way about Aretha Franklin. You know
And we
what I mean?
did the same thing with Luther.
We sure did. We sure
when
did.
Luther passed.
We sure did.
You know, we got the news, and we had his music playing the whole show.
We sure did. And you know, that's another thing too. Thinking about that, some people will be like, "Oh, I liked Big Luther. I didn't like Luther when he was thin." I was like, "Really?"
I like Luther big,
Period.
little,
Yeah, come on now.
Jerry curl straight.
I didn't like Michael Jackson when he got light. I didn't like him when he was dark. Yeah, whatever. But you know, it's amazing when you really think about how much music can affect you and how it stays with you. You know,
and you know, think about the titans that we've lost. I mean, you talk about Aretha, obviously today, but you got Michael, you got Luther, you got Prince.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's
like we were talking about earlier, you got Aretha Franklin is the queen of soul, undisputed. Michael Jackson was the king of pop, right? Exactly. James Brown was the godfather of soul, and Prince was the prince, right? And so now that royalty formerly known, but now that sort of is dissipated a little bit, but we still got Queen Bee, right? That's Beyonce, right? And we have Mary J. Blige is what the
I don't
mother
know.
of hip hop or
I don't
whatever.
know.
But none of the faces.
I think Beyonce may get there.
Yeah.
But Beyonce or Mary J. can't touch Aretha.
Or none of them. A 60-year career. A 60
Yeah, she
year
turned
career.
professional before she was 18.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a 60-year
Yeah,
career,
yeah.
you know, and it's just amazing, man. So you can't say enough about Aretha Franklin, man. Nothing about it. Nothing. I can't say enough about her. So rest in heaven, Aretha, and thank you for you.
And thank you for all your years of just performance after performance, song after song, album after album.
That resonated with us, and
Yes.
our moms,
Yes.
our dads. You know what I mean? So it's a celebration, but at the same time, it's a somber celebration.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
But moving on. So how was your week?
My week was good. Been busy.
Okay.
Been busy.
You're teaching now, right?
I am. I'm doing a couple of classes, 3 classes at Ohio Business College now.
So we got Professor Mike.
And I'm really enjoying both of them because one is marketing,
Okay.
but the other one is social media marketing.
Oh,
which
okay. Which pertains to what we're doing here.
Absolutely.
Right,
So
right.
I'm learning as I'm teaching.
Right,
So,
that's
it's
excellent, yeah.
really 2 good classes that I'm teaching.
That's
the other
excellent.
one is integrated marketing communications. So
Where are you teaching at again?
Ohio Business College.
Ohio Business College. Okay. Mike's got the hookup, grant money, all that. No, I'm just teaching. I don't know about that. How was your week, Duran?
My week was pretty good. I done started back getting into my workouts, something like you was doing last week.
Right.
Trying to get into my workouts now.
Yeah,
Trying to, keep fit. You know.
Got you.
Absolutely.
Got you.
I was practicing my dunks Monday.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I went to Dunkin' Donuts and I was just
Here we
dunking.
go.
Yeah.
What, Oreo cookies?
Yeah. But so it's a good week, right?
And I got a few workouts in as well.
Okay.
Increased my my laps
Nice.
in the pool. Yeah.
Mike is an avid swimmer. Yeah.
I'm up to a mile and a quarter now.
Wow. Yeah.
So
That's a lot. That's
it's
good,
a lot.
man.
It's a lot.
That's
45
good.
laps.
Wow.
Yeah.
45 anything as it pertains to not money is pretty good.
Yeah.
It's a lot. So I want to move on to something that's a little bit more serious today. Mike and I both attended Catholic schools. I don't practice that to this right now, and that's not my religion of choice, but I grew up that way. Mike is still
Absolutely.
a black Catholic. And so, Mike,
Born and raised.
with this allegation, of course, we both attended Catholic high schools, actually.
Elementary and high school.
Yeah, elementary and high school. And this thing that came out, this 900-page report, I got issues with that. That 900-page report that came out with the Attorney General, Josh Shapiro, that they launched this investigation in 2016. Okay, the most comprehensive child sexual abuse report in the Catholic about the Catholic Church in the history of the United States. They're talking about 301 priests and over 1,000 victims over a 70-year period. Now, we're all men of God. Mike, we went to the Catholic schools. What's your take on that? 301 priests over 1,000 victims over 70 years. And lastly, there's 67 counties in the state of Pennsylvania. We have 88 in Ohio. There's 67 counties in the state of Pennsylvania. 54 of those counties, abuse occurred. Most were boys, but there's a nice size of girls as well. So I want to just get right back to that issue because when you talk about religion and molestation, they just don't go. That's like oil and water. It just doesn't mix. What's your take? What's your issue?
Well, it's a couple of things that I like to point out. First thing is that these are allegations. So if they are true, which it appears to be, it's definitely frightening, appalling, and I think those priests, if they are still alive, should be held accountable. This should not be swept under the rug. They should be arrested, sent to prison if found guilty. And I don't care how old they are.
What about the ones that were, for something to go on for 70 years? I was going to ask, throw this out for both of you guys. For something to go on for 70 years, they had a thing where this was the way that they did it. So a priest gets accused of molestation at, we'll just say St. Aloysius. Well, they take that priest and they move him to another parish in Columbus, and he continues the same way. That's really how it happened. They were really sending the same guys, but it's still 301 of them. But they were still sending them. So what about the people that were above them that knew the allegations and then continued to? Should they be
absolutely?
held,
I think this is a stain on the Catholic Church. I think when you look at the big picture, with the amount of priests there are, it's still a very small percentage that have been accused of molestation, which doesn't excuse it at all.
Right.
I mean, guilty is guilty and wrong is wrong, but it's a small percentage of priests.
But it's 1,000 victims.
And over a
That's a pretty
70-year
big
period,
number.
that's a lot of victims.
Yeah.
And I don't want to make light of any of it, but I think that the priests should be held accountable. I think their superiors, if they tried to hide it, should be held accountable. This is something that is heinous.
Yes.
And
You ruin lives. You ruin people's lives. People are still mentally messed up behind
Right.
you. The abuse could be over 20 years ago, but you're still carrying it with them.
And let
They
me
never
say
leave
this
you.
too, and religion, a lot of people are leaving religion because of bad behavior by the pastors, the priests, the bishops, So it's not just the Catholic Church.
Yeah.
You have bad behavior in any religion that you look at.
I agree.
And I think the Catholic Church being one of the largest, they're under the microscope. And I mean, these aren't new allegations. These are allegations that have occurred over the last 10, 15, 20 years. And, it's a shame. And I'll say this too. Priests at one point in time were put on pedestals.
Absolutely.
So
they got a
so
pulpit.
a lot of times, if that child goes home and says, "Mommy and Daddy, the priest touched me," the mommy and daddy doesn't believe them.
That's right.
Probably get a whipping.
Yep.
Right.
Like Ray Donovan.
And if they do believe them, they try to cover it up as well. So it's guilt going around.
Yeah.
So.
And here's my thing. So far, we have Massachusetts with Boston, of course. That archdiocese was found guilty, and a lot of money was paid out. It still doesn't. No matter how much money you pay, you still can't erase it. Secondly, now we got Pennsylvania. Hey, there's 48 other states, people.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if that's one state? Let's keep it real. It's going to be a lot more far-reaching than just these two states. You think it just occurred in Massachusetts and PA? I don't think so. Do you? No.
I don't know. I mean,
I'm just saying.
I would hope not, but
well, the odds would say, why just those two states, right?
Yeah, and I think
Catholicism is all over the world.
Yeah, but you have to know about the structure of Catholicism too. So you have priests that are from different orders.
Yeah, okay.
So you have like the Maronists, the Jesuits, the Precious Blood, and so the Franciscans, all these different orders. So they are separate entities almost, and they're all governed by the bishop of whatever diocese they're in.
Okay, yeah.
So in that instance, when they're moving them from parish to parish, are they moving them from parish to parish in the same diocese, or are they moving them to another? The order is taking charge and moving that priest from the Cleveland parish where that order is to a California parish where that order is. So
I understand
this
that.
This can
It's gonna
involve
be
a
far-reaching.
lot of people. Yeah.
My take on this is, let's just say none of that happened. I'm just talking about the ones in California, or the ones in Arizona, or the ones in Florida, and their own little. We're only talking about two states here. It has to be just based on the odds. You're talking 70 years and 1,000 people. Come on, man.
Cases.
It's got to be in the other 48 states that they have. It's going to be to me. It's going to be more far-reaching than just. This is the tip of the iceberg, I guess.
Well,
I have a
What I would
question
say.
though. Was there any legal action taken on any of these cases, or
That remains to be seen. There is now.
Well, they're allegations.
allegations?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's the other thing is that, are some of these charges being piggybacked? They're coming out now, 70 years later,
Yes.
and maybe it happened, maybe it didn't happen, maybe they're trying to get a little piece of the pie. I think you
I
kind of
haven't
have
heard
to.
the Catholic Church deny it.
Well,
Have you?
they probably won't until it's more information to deny.
This is a two-year
it's just an
report.
allegation.
Yeah.
So
I'm glad you said yes.
Yeah.
Allegation.
I'm
'cause
gonna
we
say
don't know.
It's Boston all
Right.
over again, and it's more to come. That's what I'm going to say, just based on that. I just think that's a.
Well, and I hear what you're saying, but I mean,
Here's
this
my-
is America.
yeah.
So you're. I mean, we're guilty until proven innocent.
But they're innocent.
But most people
are innocent until proven guilty.
are
That was
innocent until proven
a
guilty.
political innuendo.
All right.
You know, I'm sure you guys out there picked that up. But yeah, that's heinous to me, man. I mean, here's the thing. You're touching. You're a, like you said, place them on a pedestal, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you are molesting a boy. And what I mean by that is, I'm not
girl.
saying, or
Yeah.
girl, but the majority were boys.
A child.
A child.
Yes.
I mean, come on, man. That kind of accusation would ruin anybody. Michael Jackson was never even found guilty on that, but that marred his career a little bit. This is.
And a lot of people felt, and still feel today, that Michael Jackson molested those kids, even though he was never
found guilty. Of course.
It was a lot of allegations,
Yes,
though.
yeah.
A lot of allegations. A lot of people coming out saying, "Yeah, he had my kids in the bed with him," and now some of those kids are coming out and saying, "Nah, my mama told me to say that."
Told me to say that, exactly.
Yeah, so-
and he went to court and was not found guilty.
Right.
This here, we'll see how it plays out.
But the key is he went to court and was found not guilty.
Exactly.
So the same thing should be for these priests and these bishops and these orders and these parents.
Right.
Because they're all guilty if they allowed it to happen and did nothing about it.
I agree
No.
with that.
And they should be taken to court
And
and judged by
due process.
a jury of their peers.
Wow, yeah, jury of the parents who got anyway. Don't get me started, man. Yeah, I mean it's amazing. So
Now,
I can't understand it.
By me, I don't know the structure of the Catholic, you know, the order, the diocese, the whatever. But how often are they alone with these children? I mean, are they like?
Man, I mean it's Catholic Church, man. It's retreats, camps, mass
Oh,
every
yeah.
day.
Yeah,
It's just-
but I mean, alone is, I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, 'cause
one
you
on
can't-
one.
they got- you-
Like
they
I was
have to
taking-
be alone to molest them. for the most
Exactly.
part. So
Oh,
apparently enough.
Maybe, I don't know.
So then,
Apparently enough. 1,000
now that
people-
gets to the parents' trust and the authority figure
But
to
I'm,
take
I'm
care of
just
it.
thinking of myself growing up in the Catholic Church, K through 12 schooling.
Right.
I wasn't alone.
Yeah. Well,
And so what parents are leaving their kids alone?
but that-
That's
that-
another
yeah.
point there.
I mean, I'm just saying.
well, they would have to be alone if they got 301 predator priests and over 1,000
unless
victims.
it's group therapy.
I don't know what that. I don't even know how to take that, Mike. I got issue with that.
I'm
shit.
just saying.
Yeah, you
I
got
mean,
a point
you
there.
know,
You got a point. You got a point.
Now, I pray that if it's true, that these priests get what they got coming.
Absolutely.
And,
I mean, there's no
and
way,
if
man.
it's not true, then that story comes out as well. Because what tends to happen once allegations happen, people already make their opinion, that in public court, and a lot of times you don't hear about, like, how many stories have you heard about the parents who accused Michael Jackson of molesting their children and it wasn't true? How many stories do you hear about them denying that?
Yeah, it's a good
You know,
point. Good point.
so-
Good point. I mean, here's the
So
thing.
before we place judgment,
But if you're the Attorney General of Pennsylvania, Josh Shapiro launched this investigation in 2016. And it's comprehensive. You got a 900-page report, man. It's got to be some truth up in there, guy. It's got to be 900 pages, Mike.
that's 3 pages per person.
Well, whatever. It's still 900 pages. I'm just saying, that's a lot. That's a lot. Over 1,000 victims? Come on, man. Even if 100 are telling the truth, that's still one too many.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, come on, man. So that's my thing with that.
So you think they're guilty?
I think that based on Boston, yes. What's the alternative? Listen, first of all, if it would have happened to me, it would have been very difficult for me to come out as an adult. Okay, I swept it under the rug. I told my parents, hypothetically, that this is going on, and they say, no, you're crazy, whatever. So now I'm sort of brainwashed. The people that I trust the most, that are supposed to protect me, what do? They're not listening to me.
That's true.
Right. So now I internalize it. It continues to happen. It messes me up, and it permeates every relationship I go through. Right.
Oh,
So
yeah,
then I come
absolutely.
forward years later. Now everybody's going to know. So even that's even deeper. So why would these 1,000 people even come out? Because it's tough to come out like that and say I was molested. And it would be for me. So
Yeah, that's true.
and So,
I mean,
I'm
that's-
assuming
that's-
that's why I say
I-
that's why I say
and-
they got it's.
I mean, it's
true.
and that's true. Is if it actually happened and they're coming out now, I'm sure they've
been
had
going-
some devastating effects based on the molestation if it happened.
For a whole lifetime.
But the other thing is, if it didn't happen and they came out, then they're lying.
Yeah.
And they want some money.
Yeah. We know there's going to be a few bad
That's
apples.
And we know what the
allegation of
Yeah, but here's another thing, dude.
Well, we know what
300 priests, kid.
300.
300.
We know what
300 priests, dude.
we know what the
That's a
root of
lot.
all evil is.
Money.
Absolutely.
Okay, we got
And do you
that.
know how many priests there are?
No. Those 301 priests that they.
That's probably about less than 5%.
Yeah. Well, now here's the counties that they did it in. So, in Erie County, 41 priests are going to trial. In Allentown, 37
So charges have been.
filed.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
They have been filed.
Well, listen, the Attorney General bought this out, so I'm sure that this is the Attorney General of Pennsylvania, the head lawyer in that state. So Greensburg 20, Harrisburg 45, Pittsburgh 99, and Scranton 59. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
So those are the victims in those counties.
Those are the number of priests
Oh,
who
in
got
those
who
counties.
got
Okay.
subpoenaed.
Wow, Erie's right around the corner.
Yeah.
And so is Pittsburgh.
Yeah, those are the number of priests. 99 in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Those are the number of priests. So I know it would be hard for me, and I think I don't know, man. The Catholic Church. Listen, the two biggest landowners in the United States, or in the world. I'm not in the United States, but in the world, are England and the Catholic Church. There's a Catholic Church, people, on every corner. You can't go a half a mile in any city in the United States without seeing a Catholic Church. They own the most land of any.
Well, maybe not anymore.
Oh, come on. Man.
They sold a lot of their properties.
Let's go down. We're right here.
because of the allegations.
Right, we're at Burke Lakefront Airport. There's one right there on East 9th, St. John's Cathedral. Now keep going. I went to St. Ignatius. You got it. Come on, man. You went to. They're everywhere on every corner. They're everywhere, and you can't deny that they're everywhere.
It's a lot of them.
It is, yeah, they're everywhere. So
I don't know if they're
we'll
on
see how it
every
plays
corner,
out. But I got
it's a lot
issues with touching kids, and from a religious standpoint, and in my mind, they're guilty until proven innocent, and that's my issue. And I'm gonna leave it there. Is that yours?
Yeah.
You said.
I think they're innocent until proven guilty.
Okay.
Well, I think it's like authority figures, period.
Yeah.
I mean, we look at
Yeah,
these police. I mean, you could get some they could sneak in through. You could get a bad seed in every authority,
Every
figure.
religion, every.
Yeah.
I mean, but
yeah.
just on a whole, you would like to say that that's not happening on the whole. Just
Well, it's always one bad apple. When you got
but
1,000
still,
people,
even a few that's
1,000,
done to
300
just
priests
look what
and
it does,
1,000 people.
does
300
to their
priests.
life if it's true.
And here's the thing for me, if it's been, and I'll close it with this, it's been going on for 70 years. Now you did an investigation for 70. We're not talking about 2013 to 2018. This is 70 years. So you can't tell me that it hasn't been not only swept under the rug. It's been business as usual, and that's how it's been happening.
Well, but we don't
70
know
years.
that. I mean, I haven't read the report, so
Yeah.
I don't know. But
It's not
either it didn't come out, no one charged them, or something, or it was swept under the rug. So we don't know exactly what happened. We don't know what those parents did when they found out that their kids were molested.
Yeah.
And we don't know what the diocese or the priest did when they allegedly were told that, hey, this guy is accusing you of molesting them. It's just like if you're on a job and one of your subordinates says, I'm claiming racism, or I'm not racism, but I'm claiming sexual assault on my boss because he wants me to perform for him to get a promotion.
Okay.
You may have just said, hey, cutie, and now all of a sudden you got allegations.
Well, yeah.
So,
yeah.
and I don't want to make light of it, but I'm
Yeah.
just saying these are allegations. Let's wait and see what happens.
Okay.
I
say guilty until proven innocent. It's religion. When you mess with religion and kids, you're guilty until proven innocent. That's me.
Well,
You're right.
I mean, the same thing holds true with black folks a lot of times. So is that how you feel about us too?
No, but that's how it is for us. So why not make it that way? I ain't even listening to no boys, man. I ain't doing none of that. All right, let's move on. We'll move on. I'm sure that. Anyway, I'll just let that go because
Right.
we'll keep moving with that. Now, I want to another big news story of the week that I have issues with.
What's it called?
Yeah, our calling number to call into the show, everybody, is 216-298-1554. That's 216-298-1554. Come in and tell us about, say hi, what Aretha Franklin meant to you. Talk about our issue that we just finished chopping it up with. That's just a shout out to Minister TC. A5. Talk about the Catholic thing that's going on with these sexual abuse allegations. Now we're going to move on to we got Aretha, the most loved black woman here. Now we got Omarosa, who is one of the most hated black women in America. Now that was a big thing, a big story over this weekend.
Right.
Duran, you hear about that story with Omarosa?
I heard about it. I heard about some of the how she was like ousted from
the
She
White
was
House.
fired.
She was fired.
I said ousted
From the
to
Apprentice
be
and the
kind.
White House.
Right.
But she took it. She went in. She had the recording of it when she got fired.
Yeah,
Which
it
is
was a
against
secret
the law.
recording.
Right. Yeah. And she signed a
Non-disclosure.
a non-disclosure, a
Which
non-compete
she's
or whatever.
disclosing everything.
Yeah. So
my big thing with Omarosa is this. You supported Donald Trump through his run for presidency. Mm-hmm. You got on his cabinet. Mm-hmm. You did nothing.
Right.
Whenever he said anything racist, you never came out and said that he was wrong. You can't turn around now.
Right.
After you've been fired, and then want us to love you now.
Yeah.
I'm not taking you back.
I think she's trying to sell books.
I'm not buying your book.
Okay.
I'm not going to read your book. And I'm not.
So
I'm
tell
not,
us
she
how you really
gets no
feel. Tell
support
us how
from
you
me.
really feel.
I just think that she got played, and now she wants the black community to love her again,
Okay.
and to buy her book and support her.
Okay.
It don't work that way.
Okay. So you think she's just an opportunist?
Yes,
So has she not gotten
absolutely.
fired, this would not have come out, right?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay.
He broke it down.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
you get fired.
I mean, but did you hear that Trump? The recorded conversation she had with,
With Trump? Oh, yeah.
When he was like, "Oh my God, I didn't even know they were firing."
All right,
me."
really?
He was like, yeah, he's
That's
like, "Oh
such
my
a big
God."
operation that,
Right.
that he works
Right.
with.
He's the
over.
president. It's like that's
Right,
such a big
come on.
operation. Come on, man, you're supposed to be in charge of that operation,
Right.
dude.
So this is General Kelly is the one that
Right.
pulled her into the conference room. She asked if she could ask any questions. Like, no,
Like,
we're
no.
not going to go down that road.
Right.
You're going to take this fire and then you're going to get out.
Yeah, he treated her like I got a 10 o'clock appointment.
I got an appointment
Right,
coming up.
right.
We ain't got time for no questions.
Right. Step. Right.
And then when Donald Trump called her, he was, Omarosa, I just heard on the news. Like, you didn't hear from your general?
Right. Come
you
on,
heard
man.
this on the news?
Come on, man. You're in the White House. Come on, she's in your cabinet. Which begs the question, now we have Ben Carson as the only black person in Donald Trump's...
Huh?
Yeah. Yes.
So we don't have a black person in Congress, I guess.
Not
That's your
Congress.
frat brother?
Excuse me. As I said before, so there's no people of color in Trump's immediate circle, with Omarosa being gone, which is really the sad part about it.
And you know what? Here's the issue.
So we need to get more representation.
So
from-
Ben Carson, excellent surgeon,
Yeah.
brain surgeon,
yeah,
right?
neurosurgeon, yes,
If you're the president, newly elected president,
right,
who don't know nothing,
right.
why would you put him over HUD instead of maybe the Surgeon General?
Yeah. Well, that makes sense. He put him
I
over
mean-
houses because he's been cutting houses and stuff.
Right.
Oh, man.
He's not qualified to be president, and neither is Carson qualified to run HUD.
Yes.
And it's an organization that he's running that he's totally against.
Yes.
So,
It's sickening, people. It really is. What's your take on that? What's your issue with that?
Well, from the business aspect of things, I'll tell you one thing. I might get a little backlash.
Hey,
all right.
that's what we want. We got
I tell you,
issues.
these
Yeah.
401ks going up a little bit because
Yeah.
of Trump.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like,
So there's money being made in the
there's money.
401k.
That's what I'm saying. A business, but the human element of things.
and we can talk about that too,
Yeah, we
because
can. Yeah,
so
absolutely.
so let's really look at what's going up. Gas
higher.
right? And the economy is getting better based on what Obama did when he was president. Now Trump has just continued what Obama had already put in place.
Yeah, he's the causing of some of it.
And so I'm not taking anything away from Trump.
I am.
He has he has aided the Wall Street companies.
Corporations are
He's
super
given
rich.
them big breaks. So by all means, because he's given them those breaks that they don't deserve,
It stimulates the economy.
it stimulates. It
Stimulates-
trickles down
Don't forget
to us.
Put
It,
tariffs on that steel, that
I mean, but
imported
you-
steel,
yeah.
where
it trickles down to us.
yeah.
Okay.
And so we get some carrots thrown our way, and now
Listen,
we're all
Obama
happy.
gave everybody.
That goes back to the
Didn't Obama give everybody money? What was it called? A stimulus thing or something?
Right.
I haven't gotten anything from Trump.
All I know is
Maybe I make
that
too much money. I don't know.
all I know is that America was headed over a cliff
Right.
when Obama took office.
Man, we did a show
and he,
where-
and he took office where the Republicans, the night that he won the election, they congregated together and met secretly and said, not even secretly, they met and said, we're going to oppose everything this man does.
Yep.
And they did it for 8 years. And so now that we have President Trump as president, the tides have turned.
Yeah, he's bringing it back.
And the
He's repealing
Democrats
everything that Obama
won't
was- he's
do the
repealing
same
everything.
thing that the Republicans do.
No,
and that's
it's
and
apples
that's
and oranges.
That's
They
an
won't.
issue I have. And
Alright,
you
so-
know, fair is fair.
Right.
Let's treat President Trump the same way President Obama was treated. I want to see your birth certificate.
Yep.
I want to see your grades in
I
school.
want to see your
think that's gonna
financial.
happen?
I want to see
all
your
that.
financial reports.
I want to hear the tape where he used the N word. I want it all.
Yes, we already heard it. Listen, if he was grabbing people, women, he said grab women by the, he didn't say the N word.
Oh, absolutely.
So, if he said grab him by the blank,
Absolutely.
hey, I mean, so yeah, that was a big thing with Omarosa. We'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, well, I never mind. I don't even want to say the name.
We'll see
of
how
it,
that
but-
plays out. Another thing I wanted to touch base on too was, I was reading, Cleveland has a very glorious history, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like I always say, people, we've been all over the country, right? So, listen, if you pick up a musical instrument, you want to end up in Cleveland in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, right?
Exactly.
If you play football, Canton, when I was growing up, it was all 216. From here to darn near
216.
Mansfield, okay?
Exactly.
So if you pick up a football, you're going to end up in Canton, which is basically us, okay?
Pro Football Hall
Pro
of Fame.
Football Hall of Fame. In terms of that, to me, they even talk about Cleveland Clinic in terms of a great hospital and so forth. In terms of that, I guess what I'm really trying to get to here is every place, every nationality here in this, and locally here in Cleveland, for the most part. I was reading this article on this guy Winston Willis, who was a businessman here in Cleveland. He owned 100 from the Scrumpty Dump, 105 from Euclid. There, that nice parcel.
107 to 105.
Scrumpty
Yeah,
Dump.
on Euclid,
I
right.
remember.
Right, he had 28 businesses. He was a self-made millionaire, and it really at that time, people, was the only black strip. Okay, now what I'm saying about this is that here in Cleveland, their nationalities have their own strip. The Feast of Assumption, there's Little Italy. That's Little Italy.
When is that? This weekend?
That's this weekend. Little Italy, so the Feast of the Assumption, that's Little Italy. They got their own strip, right?
Right.
The Jewish people here in Cleveland, particularly in Cleveland Heights on the Taylor area, they have their own strip. So you see them walking on the Hasidic Jews and so forth. They have their own little strip, right?
Right.
And then, of course, you can go over to Slavic Village. They got their own little strip, right? It's
Yeah,
called
exactly.
not
they
so
still
much.
co-
Not so much anymore, but
No.
yeah.
Right, they're rebuilding that, but they still
Right.
call it Slavic Village.
Right.
Okay.
And Chinatown.
Right, there's Payne Avenue, Dave down
Payne,
there. That's
yeah.
Chinatown. They have their own strip, and of course the Irish Catholic people have their own strip, and it's called the West Side. Right, so they have their own strip, and so I guess what I'm getting at is, where is the African American strip here in Cleveland? Should we back some of us? Should we all, college educated business owners, whatever you're doing, we should all back and maybe help build our own strip and support our own businesses. And that was just a thought as I went around the city this week. Where would we put it? Duran, where would you put a black strip if we had to have our own strip where we gather, like a Coventry or a,
But
like
we
I said,
used to have
Chinatown?
one.
Yeah.
105 was the.
Yes,
Right,
it was.
and Cleveland
That
Clinic,
was the-
if you read the
Well,
article,
no,
this
I'm
Winston
talking
Willis.
about 105 from St. Clair all the way over to
Euclid. probably.
Cedar,
Okay.
maybe even Quincy.
Yeah.
I mean, you had jazz spots where
Yeah, like Leo's Casino, all those, yeah.
yeah.
well-known acts came in and played.
Absolutely.
You know, so there were a lot.
Actually, some of Jim Brown and some of the professional football players they
Absolutely.
used to go there.
Yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely. So where would our strip be? Where
I
would
would
you
say
put it?
105.
105. Where?
From St. Clair to Euclid.
From St. Clair to Euclid. Okay.
I would say
Because the other parts are actually probably not even Euclid, probably Chester.
Yeah.
Because
Cleveland Clinic and
Cleveland
University
Clinic
Hospital
got
got it on
everything.
lock.
Well, yeah, that's
else.
how I was
Hey,
going to
hey,
say.
this
You might
Winston
as
Willis
well-
guy. Cleveland, YouTube land, Facebook, if you're not listening from Ohio. This Winston Willis was a beast, kid. He owned 28 businesses, and it was really a strip. And there was a, truth be told, Cleveland Clinic and University Hospitals basically put him out of business. And to this day,
Wait, hold it. Did they put him out of business, or did they buy him?
he lost. They made it hard for him to continue business, no matter how it happened. And as we drive today, there was no black strip there, and we went to the Scrumpy Dump when we was growing up.
Right.
We hung out on Euclid. So
Oh, yeah.
let's keep it where it
But
is.
I don't know if
I'm not saying that's there. That's who's
I
there
think
now.
his hands may have been a little dirty too.
Yeah,
Well, hey, think their hands aren't either? You think their hands
I
aren't either?
know. I'm not saying that.
Come on now. Think
I
their hands
mean-
aren't
price to
either?
pay for everything.
Hey, but so again, I can get back to. So I'm thinking there's a lot of blight, in terms of neighborhoods in Cleveland. You can look. We grew up on Buckeye, Woodland area. There are certain areas, even Superior. There are certain areas where a black strip would be a great thing.
To
And there's
answer your
enough-
question, you
yes.
just asked me whether I think it should be closer to downtown, like maybe in the Quincy area down, because
Start at
this.
Caramel and work your way down.
Exactly.
Something like that?
That
Yeah,
wouldn't be bad
exactly.
either.
Because
You know?
everybody's moving closer to downtown. If you
Yeah.
notice, all the doctors, everything, they got the nice apartments right around the downtown area.
Yes.
Right.
I mean, I think we
But
need
I
a
think
strip.
that it should
We
be
need an
more
area.
than just clubs. I think that
Yeah,
if you
yeah,
really
of course.
want to, you have to talk about revitalizing the area. So that means
Exactly.
bringing in more housing, more businesses, more restaurants.
All of things.
clubs,
all of-
everything, banks.
African Americans are in
that
charge
makes
of everything
the-
I just mentioned here. We're
the
all in a
environment-
position to actually do this and come together
Yeah.
and really make our own thing.
Everything that
So-
makes that neighborhood thrive.
Yeah.
Don, let me ask you
Including
this.
supermarkets.
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
there aren't a lot of supermarkets in the
right, and
outside
Exactly.
of Save a Lot.
And before real quickly, Duran, and I'll just say this real quickly. In most black neighborhoods in the city of Cleveland, you can go to a gas station, get gas, pay your phone bill, pay the lottery, pay your other bills, and get a sandwich. So they're basically saying to you that that's where you're supposed to go. Whereas that could be 5 different places. That's 5 different places, and certain areas that
That's a
certain
good point. They
nationalities
monopolize the whole
that have that. So they tell them. So that's what we need to break up. And I think that. So where would you put yours? You said Quincy area.
Yeah, maybe
I like that
Quincy,
area.
Central down, because it's a lot
Cedar.
of barren land. You
Yeah.
remember we were
Yeah.
looking out at the lake
Yeah,
there,
yeah, yeah.
all of that open space
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
But I already know it's going to be a highway going all the way
Of course,
from
of course.
55th all through Cleveland.
Think about it, guys. Yeah,
I already see that
It's
coming.
coming.
It's
It's
a
coming.
development.
Yeah.
It's coming.
They're already
You're
working
going to
on
be able to
it.
get. You're going to be able to get off at 55th, coming off of 90,
Exactly.
and stay and come right down to the Cleveland Clinic.
You'll be able to stay on 490.
Right.
And it's going to be built right over that whole area.
Where that new multi-million-dollar, what is it? The juvenile detention center now.
Yeah.
Boy, that is a palatial spot, kid. Right there on what is that? 83rd and Quincy, or is that? Is that what-
80. It's like
You guys know the area I'm talking
89th
about,
and
yeah.
Quincy,
I know exactly.
But that's
Or
one of the things
93rd.
that's one of the things that troubles me a little bit. There is a lot of strong black people in Cleveland, and we need to sort of think about that and develop our own. Because at the end of the day, man, let's keep it real. I can't count 5 black businesses on one hand that I support myself. Because I can name a couple barbecue spots, I can name a couple whatever, but there's no, you know what I mean?
You just answered the question I was going to ask you.
What's
Why
that?
do you think it's like you know all of these ethnic groups, all these businesses, nice businesses? You also might. Why do you think that is? I mean,
because they keep it within themselves. You know,
But it always hasn't been that way.
right.
So at one point, there were a lot of black-owned stores and businesses in the black community.
Yeah.
Especially like growing up in the 60s and 70s.
yeah, I remember you.
yeah, of course they. I'm saying they had
those,
strips. I mean,
But,
they
but what happened to those?
Right.
I think a lot of us people came in and we kind of sold our businesses. We sold, because I know of a few cases where we sold. It was nice businesses for years.
Yeah.
Family-owned businesses.
So
we kind of sold.
I think what
them.
happens is we get duped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
exactly.
we
yeah.
get a carrot dangled in front of us, and we don't look at the big picture. We're looking, and a lot of our kids are this way today. we look for instant gratification.
Yeah.
And
you make your money and hand it right back to them.
Right.
You know what I mean? And in the Jewish community, that money changes hands 5 or 6 times before it gets out. In the Chinese community, it don't ever even come out. It doesn't even come out of the Chinese community, dude. It doesn't even come out. All we do is, I don't know about you, but all I've done my entire life is hand Chinese people my money. I want to do that in against a black community where we're keeping our money and investing in us. You know, we got to get out of that mentality where we stop, where we have to get back to supporting each other and building each other up, like these ethnic communities, where there's Slavic village. Oh my goodness, jeez, the Mayfield, was that Som Center in Mayfield there?
Yeah.
That's the most concentrated area of Russian people in Northeast Ohio. I mean,
that's a busy intersection.
yes.
too.
I mean,
I
that's
just go through there,
that's
man.
Russians. I forgot about Russian Town. They
Right.
call it. They're rushing to get there. Anyway, so that's an issue with that. That's something that I think that we should think about.
Yeah. Hey,
and try
Don,
to
isn't it time
galvanize.
for us to thank our sponsors?
Oh, yes. Can't forget our sponsor. Our main sponsor today is Clum Creative. Check out their website. It's www.clumcreative.com.
Thank you.
Yes, it's a great video production, commercial needs. If you have a business and you want to get your business noticed even more and really tell the story of your business, everything is video. When people go to a website now, you go to the video, right? Everything is YouTube. Everything is video now. And we can help you grow your business by putting together a video through Clum Creative that goes on your website and it really talks about the corporate culture of your company, talks about what your company stands for with good customer service, talks about your mission statements and so forth. And at the end of the day, you'll be supporting and growing yourself and also helping out our sponsors. So thanks, Clum Creative. I have no issue with them. Let's move on to another big issue today. Moving on toward with Duran, you are a resident sports guy here. So with this Josh Gordon story that just broke, that's the big news here in Cleveland today, sports-wise anyway. Josh Gordon obviously left the Browns at the beginning of the training camp. And now, and because his sobriety is the number one thing, right? We agree with that.
As it should be.
At the end of the day, football goes, the NFL stands for not for long, but you want to be sober, make sure you're mentally healthy for the rest of your life. But this child support allegations is why he left, is what they're saying today. What do you think of that?
That's tough. I mean, child support is important. I think that if you lay down with a woman and you have a child, you got to take care of that child.
Absolutely.
That's period, end of story. I don't care what you have to do, you got to take care of that child.
You can't tell the Temptations, like they said Papa was a rolling stone.
Yeah. And I know that, early sobriety is rough.
Yeah, okay.
So, I want him to be mentally, physically, spiritually healthy. But at some point, he has to start addressing some of his other issues, which apparently is child support.
Right.
He needs to take care of it the way it needs to be taken care of. Yeah. Whether that means he needs to pay $6,000.
Yeah, that's what he was at, $6,000 a month. The girl made $16,000 last year. That's going after him. That's his 3-year-old daughter, I believe. But we'll see how it plays out. What's your take on it? What's your issue with it?
I think it's a combination of things.
Okay.
I think he seen this coming, and then you got that Hard Knocks program.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of questioning. Then the child support.
It could be.
He knew it's a distraction for him, and I'm glad he
and for the team.
The whole,
and
the team.
Yeah.
Come on, we got some good going here. Let him go on and get himself straightened out. Hopefully, it's done.
When he comes back September 9th, he gets that first check. He can start paying it.
Yeah, whatever. But I think it's a combination of
Yeah.
Just having to answer all these questions.
And
like,
I tell you what, though, I wouldn't be surprised if the Browns organization supported him leaving so that it wouldn't be aired on Hard Knocks.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, because he would have been talked about negatively if they didn't support him.
No doubt. Yeah, they're going to ask a question. I mean, that's what reporters do. I mean, who, what, where, when, and how, and why.
And so I think the Browns are right now trying to limit the distractions. And
they're doing a good job of it. I mean, 'cause at the end of the day, I mean, the guy he's been out of the NFL more than he's been in it.
Right.
And this would have been a tipping point you're right. It's a combination of things. But
this is one of my old friends used to say: is child support a product of broken relationships or helping a child?
That's a good question.
That's a good question.
That's a
I
good
mean,
question.
child support really is from, you go back in the day, when we were growing up, it was standard practice for a man to never pay child support. There's kids out here, grown people out here right now where their dad never paid it and whatever. So I just don't think it's good when it's a distraction because one thing about being a professional player is when your personal business gets aired, which is part of being a professional, it can change your psyche. And it can,
Yeah.
it can hurt. So, we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah,
So,
and it's definitely sobriety threatening.
oh, no doubt about it.
You know,
No
so
doubt about it.
Yeah. That's the
when
main
you get your
thing.
business put out in the streets, that's
Man, that's
And
a-
Hard
That's-
Knocks is right
oh,
there.
that's
I
tough.
didn't see the episodes. I've been kind of busy.
Right.
And I missed out on the Hard Knocks episodes,
Yeah, I
but
haven't
they
seen
said
it
they was
either.
getting pretty intense.
Yeah. They saw that fight
You
with
know?
Jarvis Landry through the ball. I like that.
Oh,
I
well,
like
you
that
know,
receiver, man. I
you
like
know,
that
because
receiver.
two
He's giving the
coaches
Browns
got
an
into
attitude.
it
Really?
today. Yeah, today. The offense coordinator and defense coordinator, Greg Williams
and Haley.
and Todd Haley.
Both of those are fiery
They,
individuals.
they
too.
got into it, a little yelling match back and forth.
That's good. They're changing the culture, man.
I like it.
I like it too,
I
man.
like it. Let's
I
get
like
some
it.
mental toughness.
Yes, exactly, man. You got to have that, man. Without it. So based on that, Duran, the Browns take on the Buffalo Bills, who we just traded Coleman to. Right? We traded Coleman to now. Coleman's there. Tyrod Taylor, our quarterback, our starting quarterback. You can wait, Baker Mayfield.
Starting quarterback.
Starting quarterback Mayfield, not 2 seasons. I would rather say Mayfield not play this entire season.
Exactly. I would say. the
I
same
would
thing.
rather he not play this year or next year.
I'm telling you right now, but so far he's been pretty good. Let's keep it real. That one game, whatever. But
Against the backup.
so you got a quarterback. So
Absolutely.
tomorrow in this scrimmage, we got the quarterback of the Buffalo Bills is now our quarterback. He took the Buffalo Bills to the playoffs
last year.
So now he's our quarterback. Our receiver, who was a number one, drafted in the first round,
First round
Coleman, is now playing with
the Buffalo
So
Bills.
what's it's a big dynamic there tomorrow. What do you think? What are you expecting to see from the Browns tomorrow? What are you looking to see in game 2?
They're hiding it. They're saying, "Oh, it don't make a difference. We're
Right.
just playing the game. We want to be competitive."
Right.
But they're looking across that field like, "I'm gonna grab you by the
Right.
throat."
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah, they can't wait for that game. Tyrod Taylor, because a few times last year, they took him. They set him down and put in another quarterback.
They sure did. They sure
one
did.
game.
Yeah, they sure did.
And this guy, he was pretty steady. He didn't turn the ball over, didn't do anything. But for one game, they seen how grass don't look greener on the other side
Yeah,
all the
that's true.
time.
That's right.
And they got him back in there. They made the playoffs. I'm really excited for the season, but it's like, and the thing about our receiver, I think it with him, Coleman.
Okay.
They asked him. He went and asked if I'm y'all, do y'all want me to play?
Yeah.
You know?
He went in Hugh Jackson's office,
Yeah,
run
Hugh
hard next.
Jackson.
Yeah, and
Hugh
said,
Jackson said, "You go to." I
said,
don't
"If you're not
know
gonna
about
play
that
me,
move,
trade
but
me."
he told him, "Yeah."
And they
he
traded
said, "Don't play me,
Oh,
trade me."
He went into
he
it,
actually had
They said bye.
He had a
the
man.
gall
I mean,
to
go-
do that.
Yeah,
He was
After all the drops.
the drops.
Yeah.
After
I
all
still
the
remember that Pittsburgh
non-production.
drop. I
Right.
don't forget too many.
I mean,
key plays.
he has not had first round production.
He hasn't. He just had his hand broken twice. So
Right.
that's a
You
little
know,
bit of a.
so-
but it'll be interesting.
I think it'll be interesting. I think the other big story, though, for the Browns is with Josh Gordon in limbo, is do they bring Dez Bryant in?
Yeah,
he's in town today.
He signed
They
with the
said
Browns?
a Browns
Oh,
helmet.
Browns
They showed him
helmet.
signing the Browns helmet. He did not sign with the Browns.
But I
he
like
did
the
sign
kid
Browns
Callaway,
helmet.
Mike. What you think about Callaway? I mean, I seen him
I
play.
think
played well.
He's a wild card.
Played well.
He's driving around at 3 a.m. in the morning with drugs and bullets. That's a problem for me.
He said
You know how I feel
apparently
about
they
that.
drug tested him
It's
under the radar, and he passed the drug test. So he had the marijuana in his
I know.
car.
They said the
Marijuana is
marijuana.
legal in 18 states, people,
Not
and
in
it's coming.
Ohio.
It is. It's coming. They got medical marijuana. People have licenses now.
It's not legal in Ohio.
Okay. Tell that to.
But
a lot
the
of
car
people.
came from Florida,
Right,
so
right,
he had a little in there. I'm trying to give him the benefit of the
listen.
doubt.
Hey, man.
Listen, these athletes have to take responsibility. This isn't. You're getting paid to play this game.
True.
Thousands, millions of dollars.
Yes, you are.
You got to be accountable for your actions.
You do.
Now, first of all, what's up with the bullets? Ain't nobody talking about that.
Yeah, well,
Okay, he ain't had a gun, but he got the bullets.
what are you gonna do with some? I'd rather have the bullets than not having a gun.
Than
Because
the marijuana?
all you can do is take the bullets and throw them at somebody if they ain't got the gun. So You know.
Well, I think.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
we've got a caller at 216-298-1554.
Welcome to We've Got Issues.
We've got issues.
Yeah, caller, go ahead.
I just wanted to
Hey, it's
give
Dr.
my
Joy.
regards to the Franklin family, and I know you probably have touched on it earlier.
Yes. Who do we have? Who do we have calling in?
I'm sorry?
Who do we have calling in?
Oh, my name is Joy.
Ah, that's Dr. Joy Jordan. Yeah, that's our favorite dentist. That's our favorite dentist.
Yeah.
Yeah, we touched on
I
Aretha
was
Franklin.
just
Yeah.
listening to Still Waters Run Deep. Did you hear that? Did you play that this evening?
We did.
We opened up with Say a Little Prayer, but Still Waters One Deep is one of my favorites. You're absolutely right. That's a great song.
Yeah. What about Ain't No Way? Did you play that?
Ain't no way. We don't have enough time to play her song. It would take us like.
It ain't no way we can get all our songs
Yeah,
in
that's
this
right.
hour.
Hey, Joy, we appreciate that. There's ain't no way we can get all those songs in, but we're making sure that we're giving her a RESPECT.
Yes.
We're definitely giving her
We
that.
definitely
Oh, yeah,
lost a
Rita.
titan in the industry.
No doubt. Hey, Joy, let me ask.
Did you play the theme song to Sparkle?
No, I didn't play that either.
I
You're
didn't
going
even
all the
know
way
about
back.
that one.
Hey,
Yeah.
Joy, let me ask you this. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Let me ask you this. So we had Aretha Franklin as the Queen of Soul. We had Michael Jackson as the King of Pop. We had James Brown as the Godfather of Soul, and of course we had Prince. So in a lot of ways, we sort of lost the royalty of the African American music industry, don't you think?
I think so. Well, what do you think about Jay-Z and Beyonce?
Well, they're up and coming, but
They haven't arrived yet.
I said Queen Bee.
They have created a dynasty.
They have.
They have, but they're not there yet.
They got to get that 60-year career like Aretha Franklin.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's all I can say. But
They're on their way.
they're on their way. But listen, Joy, thank you so much for your call, and thank you for your for letting us know about some of those songs that we really didn't think
Yeah,
about with
right.
Aretha Franklin.
Yeah.
I mean,
Thanks, Joy.
thank you, Joy. We appreciate it. Thanks for calling into the show.
Bye. You're welcome.
Bye. Thanks again. But that is going to be dominated for Aretha Franklin for years to come. And
Yeah.
it's a beautiful thing,
Yeah.
man. It's,
So, do we offer Des Bryant a contract?
getting back to the Browns, I would say blank to the yes. Yes, yes, right away, quickly, quietly, and evenly.
I'm all for it.
I'm all for it.
I
Man,
say no.
You have a come on, man.
Why?
So you got Des Bryant on one side, and
Well,
you
I'll
got
tell you.
Landry on the other.
Okay.
Well, why you say no?
Okay.
Des Bryant done lost a step. You know, he used to scare cornerbacks just
Right.
coming off that line because he had that quick step, that explosiveness,
physical.
and he's physical.
Right.
He don't have that explosiveness anymore.
Okay.
He had a few drops last year, and he's that. Okay, just say
He
things
played
are
in all
not
16
going
games
well.
last year.
He don't. Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He's durable.
Caught about 70 passes.
Yeah,
70, great.
and had 8 touchdowns.
But
Not a lot
Sounds
of
better.
yards.
Sounds better than any of our receivers from last year.
yeah, but
Not a
he
lot
got
of
different
yards.
receivers now.
Yeah.
If he don't get the ball and he feels like he's open, I mean that's going to be a problem for every quarterback back there with him. I
Okay.
mean, we're not even giving him a chance. I'm not giving him a chance, but
So,
Did you want him to sign or not?
no.
so here's my counter to that. Number one, no team has looked at him. He's a free agent for a reason, and backing what you're saying.
Right.
However, I think that if
Right.
we sign him, he has to come humble.
Right.
And he's working for a big contract, so he's going to work hard.
Right.
Now, has he lost a step? Absolutely. Is he good enough to be on our team with what we have?
We'll see.
Yeah, he's
We're
better
gonna
than
call
what
him.
we've.
Welcome to We Got
We got 2 minutes,
Issues.
guys.
Okay.
Go ahead, caller.
Go ahead, caller. Welcome to We've Got Issues.
Turn your radio down.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead. We got 2 minutes.
Who's calling? Thanks for calling in.
Just want to call in. Hi, my name is Michelle Wilkins.
Oh, that's my
Brand and
sister.
Brenda, I wanna give
Yeah.
a
Ah,
shout
yes.
Hey.
All right.
Hey, shout out! I'm out here chopping
Okay.
it up with Don and
Yeah,
Mike.
so you got
here.
that's your sister?
Yeah, that's my
Yes.
sister Michelle. She was little when we used to play
Yes.
ball in the yard, but
What's
she
your
watched
comment?
us.
What's your comment?
I just wanted to make a comment about the Catholic priest one. No disrespect to Catholics in Cleveland, because I know that's an issue. But just when you have issues where you are even you're put in a situation where you have touched a child. There's an allegation, I guess I should say, that you've touched a child. That's an issue. It's been going on for a long time.
Exactly.
They can't sweep it under the rug if they want. They know that it's there. I think it's about time that it's coming to the forefront. I don't think there should be a statute of limitations on touching a child.
Absolutely.
I mean, and
Absolutely.
That's one. Where would I put an area for all black businesses? I would probably put it in the near Euclid area, like Euclid, Bretnall.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
Kinda
Carla.
somewhere.
All right.
Thank you so much.
All right, Carla.
We're out of time.
Yeah, we're out of time.
Thank you for calling.
Can we get our prayer in? Real quick, let's say our
30 seconds.
Let's get our prayer. Mike, take us home.
Father
Thanks,
God,
everybody.
we just thank you for bringing us together for another week. We ask that you continue to guide us, guard us, protect us, and lead us on this journey. We give you all the glory, honor, and praise, and as always, we'll be ever so careful to lift your name. Amen.
Amen. Listen, thanks everybody for tuning in to We've Got Issues out there in land, and thank you so much.